Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Finally, the round of 16 draw for the Champions League has been made, and this time it is official. No more controversy, no more calls of corruption or anything of that nature. This one is official. It was done, it's seen all above board, and it has been made official, and it has thrown up still some very intriguing and very exciting and even a couple of mouth-watering encounters as we enter the round of 16 stage of the competition to be played in February. Before we go any further in talking about the draw, though, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get into talking about the round of 16 draw for the Champions League. Alright, so kicking things off, it was a last draw to be made of this round, but it is arguably the most mouth-watering encounter of this round of fixtures. It is gonna be PSG versus Real Madrid, and oh my, are Real Madrid not gonna be happy with this one at all. They are gonna be absolutely fuming with this draw, because when the initial draw was made, Madrid were given the quite favourable tie, shall we say, of Portuguese side Benfica. Benfica and Real Madrid were drawn together in the initial draw, but then the redraw happened, and because they couldn't quite work out where the system failure happened, they didn't know if it was already happening throughout the entirety of the draw or not. They had to redraw everybody, which is why Real Madrid and Benfica were thrown back into the mix. And as it worked out for Real Madrid, they have been drawn against the French giants. The narrative here is looking really good as well. Like I say, Madrid won't be happy with this draw. It's a trickier tie than what they would have hoped for. Of course, they were, like I say, given a more favourable tie, but obviously that has now not happened in the redraw and the more now official draw. And of course, the narrative here centres around one Lionel Messi, who will be licking his lips at a chance to lock horns again with an old foe in Real Madrid. He haunted Madrid so many times during his Barcelona career that he will be looking to knock them out of the Champions League once again from his Barcelona days. It's going to be a huge game, this one. Arguably the most mouth-watering encounter and most exciting encounter of this round of fixtures, particularly, of course, from a neutral fan's point of view. The likes of Kylian Mbappe, who could see this as a potential opportunity to audition for maybe a future move to Real Madrid at some point down the pipeline. You've also got the likes of Neymar and Lionel Messi looking, like I say, to get back at Real Madrid once again, facing Madrid like they used to back in their Barcelona days, against the likes of Luka Modric, Karim Benzema and Marco Asensio. You've also got Sergio Ramos against his former club as well. So there's plenty of narrative here for journalists and pundits and fans alike to really sink their teeth into as far as this fixture is concerned. This game is certainly not going to be short of talent or quality going into it. It's going to be one hell of an encounter when these two teams meet in February. It's an exciting game in store. Pressure is seriously on PSG to deliver with the summer transfer window that they had to kick off the season, of course. Madrid also will want to get back to being the kings of Europe on the flip side, of course. It really could go either way. It's a really balanced game, this one. Like I say, a very intriguing encounter. You think that PSG should be winning this game, and obviously will have all the pressure of this one going into it. They could really lay down a marker here if they are to knock out the Spanish giants. But I think it may come down to a battle, a tactical battle of the two managers, with it being Pochettino in one corner and Carlo Ancelotti in the other. My money would be on Ancelotti to come out of this one on top. And in a not so confident prediction, admittedly, I'm not entirely confident with this one. I am leaning more towards the Spanish side on this one, advancing to the quarterfinal stages. That's where my money would be on. Elsewhere, in what was seen as the draw that could have happened earlier, but all the controversy surrounding the initial draw, surrounded by this one fixture, this one outcome, actually did go on to happen in the official draw, as Ralph Rangnick's Manchester United were drawn against Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. Both sides have been quite underwhelming in this tournament. United have been scraping through games by the odd goal here and there, very late on in some games, and they managed to get through their group though. Whilst Atletico Madrid have just about managed to scrape through their entire group, despite it being a very tough group on paper when you consider that Liverpool, AC Milan and Porto were in their group. One thing you can say about United though is that they are still in the early stages of their new reign under interim manager Ralph Rangnick. They're still finding their feet under the German, so he has some time to get hold of his squad between now and when these fixtures are set to be played, so that maybe they can be within a better standing of getting a more decent result in this game. Whilst Diego Simeone's side, of course, will be hoping to find some consistent form between now and then as well. The narrative for this game will, of course, be centred around one Cristiano Ronaldo, as it usually is for Manchester United. But this one in particular will centre around Ronaldo because of his great scoring record against the Spanish club. Will he be returning to once again haunt Atletico like he did during his days at Real Madrid and even the couple of times that he played on whilst a Juventus player? He's played Atletico Madrid 35 times in his career and he scored 25 goals against them. And that, of course, like I say, includes the couple of times that he played against them whilst he was a Juventus player. So there is a story there that Ronaldo may return to haunt a club that he's been known to have a pretty good scoring record against in recent times. As far as a prediction goes, I think that with the underwhelming performances of Atletico, you'd probably say that Ralph Rangnick's era, if that is to continue and to grow, that would possibly make United favourites for this game. I'd probably say that United will go on to actually qualify from this game. It's between two sides that I particularly don't really have a great fondness for, of course. Despise United because obviously being a Liverpool fan, and I don't really like the way that Diego Simeone plays his football, but if it works for him, it works for him kind of thing. Like I say, it could really go either way. I'd make United favourites personally, but I'm sure Simeone's looking at this fixture and would really love to go to Old Trafford in particular, grind out a result, proper stink the place up and give his side a good standing of qualifying for the next round, however that may be, whichever way round the fixtures are played. Either way, a big team is dropping out at this stage of the tournament and the competition. Like I say, I'd probably give the edge just to United in this one to advance. Elsewhere is a trip back to the San Siro for Liverpool, as they're going to be facing Inter Milan. The Reds face AC Milan in the final game of the group stages, of course, at the famous Italian stadium, in which a heavily rotated Liverpool side managed to be victorious there. And that, of course, helped Jurgen Klopp, who helped his side pass with flying colours in their group, becoming the first English side to go through the group stages, winning all 6 of their group stage games. So they'll still be flying high off of that, whilst Inter qualified in a group that consisted, of course, of Real Madrid, who also qualified as well. It's a slight step up from the original draw that these two teams will be facing. Liverpool were originally given Salzburg, whilst Inter were given Ajax. So it is a bit of a step up in terms of quality for both sides, with all due respect. But it is a proper Champions League tie, this one. This has all the makings and feelings of a proper Champions League tie. Of course, Liverpool will probably go into it as favourites. Liverpool will probably be expected to advance to the quarter-final stages, but don't rule out Inter Milan entirely. The Italians have some decent players within their ranks, and of course, their star man, Lautaro Martinez, up front will certainly prove to be the main threat. It's a game, like I said, that Liverpool should be winning across both legs. They made slightly easy work of AC Milan in their final group stage game at the San Siro, and for about half an hour or so just blew AC Milan out the water before they got back into that game. But they still ended up winning on the first encounter at Anfield. And like I say, no team wants to be facing a Liverpool side at Anfield when it is full and when it is a very hostile environment. Assuming that fans are, of course, still allowed in stadiums when this game comes around, Inter Milan will not relish a trip to Anfield at all, and that is why you'd probably expect Liverpool to advance to the quarterfinals, and that is obviously going to be my prediction as I'm backing my team. Also, Manchester City got their typically favourable tie against Mansfield Town under 8s. Sporting Lisbon. Once again, City get their relatively favourable tie as usual. City topped their group and were rewarded with a clash with the Portuguese side, who of course qualified in their group alongside Ajax, while City of course topped their group by beating the likes of Club Brugge, RB Leipzig and PSG of course. This is a side really that they should be beating, and City should be qualifying fairly comfortably, you'd imagine. I'd see that the only way that Sporting can get can actually get a decent sort of result, maybe even threaten City at all in this kind of fixture, would be if City get a bit too cocky, maybe take this game for granted, and maybe if Guardiola sort of overthinks this kind of fixture, which in recent years he has tended to do with City, which is why he's never actually gone on to win this competition, despite spending millions upon millions to try and claim City's first Champions League title, but as of yet has not managed to achieve that. But yeah, City should have no issue in making the final 8 of this tournament, with all due respect. And the final English team we come to is Chelsea, of course, who face French side Lyon. This was actually a tie that was given out in the original draw and stayed the same in the proper and official draw. So this one stays the same. Chelsea qualified alongside Juventus in their group, whilst Lyon topped their mad group, which of course consisted of Wolfsburg, Sevilla and fellow qualifier Salzburg, in a group that on the final group game, of course, all 4 could have qualified. Chelsea should be advancing here, but don't rule out the French champions entirely from causing an upset here. They have some decent players within their ranks to look out for, and Chelsea should definitely be aware of that. It will be an interesting battle ahead, but like I say, the safe bet here really is on Chelsea to win and advance to the next round. The current holders should be advancing to the final 8 from here, and Thomas Tuchel should guide Chelsea deeper into this competition. Also drawn out was Salzburg against Bayern. These were the 2 teams drawn out first from the official draw. With all due respect, this should be one of the more fairly predictable outcomes of this group, of this round of fixtures, Bayern, top goal scorers in this competition, of course, flying high, got a strong squad available to them, very, very deep in terms of quality and in terms of squad depth. They passed their group with flying colours, while Salzburg, of course, qualified in that mad and unpredictable group from start to finish that all 4 teams had a chance of qualifying from the final game of the group stages. But the odds of Salzburg pulling off an upset here would be huge. Stranger things have happened, of course, but Bayern should be comfortably through to the quarterfinals from this point, you feel. Next to a game that might be slightly under the radar, Benfica were drawn against Ajax. It is another intriguing tie that has been put together here, pitting together the Portuguese side against the Dutch side. Benfica managed to qualify alongside Bayern in their group, a group that also consisted of the very troubled Barcelona right now, whilst Ajax were perfect in their group, 6 wins out of 6, and Sebastian Haller, their striker, has been one of the stories of the competition so far. With 10 goals in the group stages, he is the top goal scorer in this competition right now. It's an intriguing game, this one, between both sides that have some decent players within their disposal. Ones to definitely keep your eyes on for the present and the future. But this game will definitely be overlooked and overshadowed by the other fixtures that are going off around this tie. So, one to sort of make sure you keep your eye on, so to speak. I will draw attention to this game because I feel like this could be a very interesting game ahead. As far as a prediction goes, I'd expect Ajax to progress here into the next round. And finally, we come to Villarreal against Juventus. These 2 sides have been drawn together, a clash that will put together the Italian side against the Spanish side, a clash that will pit together Unai Emery versus Max Allegri. Villarreal will be slightly happier of this draw, having originally been drawn against Manchester City, of course, in the first and then voided round of the draw. But it still remains an extremely tough task for them, of course, against the Juventus side, who finished top of their group after Chelsea slipped up on their final group stage game. It's an interesting fixture, this one. It's going to be an intriguing tactical battle, I think, between two experienced managers. You'd expect that Juventus will go through here, but of course you don't take anything for granted, particularly not in the Champions League, because Juventus, with all things considered, haven't been entirely convincing. They've not been the same Juventus side, obviously, as they have been in the past, in years gone by, should I say. And Villarreal may fancy their chances of causing an upset here, particularly against an Unai Emery side that will relish in causing upsets like he did last season in the Europa League, and obviously take that to a bigger stage in the Champions League. You'd still expect the Italian side to go through. That is the safe bet. That is going to be my prediction, that Juventus will go through in this game. But, like I say, don't rule out the Spanish side by any means. But, of course, that is just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the Champions League draw now that it has officially been done and all the dust has settled on it, and we can now see the round of 16 stage for what it is? What do you make of the ties? What do you make of the whole corruption sort of angle before? What do you make of the whole mess up, the system failure of that before? But most importantly, what do you make of the ties that are going to be coming up in the round of 16 stage? What are your own thoughts, comments, opinions and predictions on any of these ties that are coming up in the Champions League? Let me know all of that kind of stuff in the comment section down below, because I'm sure it'll all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video.